Alright, you demonic bastards. Here is my demon build. Obviously this build is only for New Game Plus and further because this set cannot be obtained during the first playthrough. It is obtained at the end of it. I honestly think this will get nerfed at some point because this is most overpowered thing I've seen in this game so far. The amount of damage this does next to amount of self-sustain through healing is just ridiculous. In this video on New Game Plus I'm constantly battling enemies that are from 1 to 3 levels above me regarding gear, and I'm destroying them without any issues whatsoever. I did not expect the demon to be so goddamn overpowered. However, there is one huge downside to this build. We are doing nano damage all the time, meaning nanite enemies are highly resistant to this build. Thankfully I have solution for that in terms of different loadout. So you're just gonna switch loadout when facing nanite type enemies. Dark Prophecy armor pieces increase damage against armored and unarmored body parts, increase impact by huge amount, reduces stamina consumption when evading and running, but also increasing stamina consumption when attacking. Use any kind of weapon that does nano damage. That's all you have to do, doesn't matter which one. I'm using an implant that increases speed for one-handed, twin-rigged, spear and double-duty type weapons, so I would suggest one of these if you have that implant. Bonuses for Dark Prophecy set are healing whenever we trigger nano damage on enemies and also elemental AoE after using finishers. Goal here is simple. Do as much nano type damage as possible. If we do that, we heal, and when finishing opponents, we trigger elemental AoE that also does nano type damage, that also heals us, that you understand. It's a vicious circle. Implants that I'm using are Tactile Amplifier that increases speed with 4 weapon types. Then we have Entropic Dissolver, which is a really important one, because it increases nano buildup and nano damage. Then we have Deflection Supercharger. I'm using this in every build because parries are very good in this game. Elemental Intensifier increases all elemental damage dealt, and due to us doing so much AoE damage, it is very viable for this build. Leg Adapter reduces evasive movement cost. Last one is Energy Dynamo that increases energy gain through successful attacks. The rest are Injection, Power Increase, Directional Block Analyzer, and that's pretty much it. This setup works for every type of enemy except Nanotype. For Nanotype enemies I switched 2 things. I've added Emergency Reserve Injection that would heal us at the cost of 1 battery if attack would prove to be lethal. So basically it saves you from death. Nanotype enemies that are found on New Game Plus are usually those nasty bastards that multiply themselves. And that is why I'm using this one. Next to that, I've also added Nanite Shatterer that increases damage dealt to nanite enemies. So whenever you see those types of enemies, just switch to this loadout. In this loadout for nanotype enemies, I'm using also strictly physical damage weapon type. It works best against them to just do direct damage without any elemental bollocks. We still trigger the set bonus if doing physical damage, but explosion done at the end is not any kind of elemental storm that would be present otherwise for a longer period of time. Instead, some kind of physical burst damage is done. Stat distribution should heavily focus health and stamina. Battery is not really necessary for this build. We only use battery for finishers and sometimes when things get tough for healing. For the most part we heal by attacking and triggering nano explosions. That's really all there is to this build. You don't even need tips on how to play it, you just attack like madman, that's it. By attacking and using finishers we trigger nano-type elemental damage all around us, that also heals us whenever that explosion happens. This build is literally offense is your best defense. That's all, I hope you enjoyed the video, thank you for watching and stay tuned.